Tamika, and I'm here to tell a story about me being shot 7 times by the man that I loved.
Welcome to You Can and You Will Talk Show. You guys, we have a special guest by the name Tamika. Tamika has a story that's going to help so many people. So, Tamika, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So, all right. We were as we were talking the other day, you was telling me a bit about your story, and you were, letting me know you were in a abusive relationship for about 7 years. How old was you when you started seeing this person?
I was about 17 years old.
About 17 years old.
17
Okay.
years old in high school.
Okay, so you was young.
Mm-hmm.
You were young. Okay, you was in a abusive relationship. Oh my goodness! Every time I think about your story, you can get it together. Let me get it together. Okay, can you tell us about the day you reached your breaking point? This man, you mentioned that he wasn't abusive until 2 years into the relationship. You was with him for about 7 years. Did you notice any controlling signs or anything like that? Like you not allowed to go anywhere or anything like that? Like you did notice any of that?
Yes, when he started to go and tell me about, not being with my family and taking me away from my family and always wanting to be with me all the time.
Mm-hmm. Red
also,
flag.
And also when he also told me that, not to do things I wanted to do. If I wanted to work, not to work, and
Mm-hmm.
he just tried to mold me.
Tried to mold you.
Yeah.
Been there. Okay. What made you was in this relationship, it started out being controlling, as you said, and then the abuse started later on?
Yeah. It's actually started once I started finding out that I can do things on my own.
Okay.
It's more materialistic type of situation. Coming up to the school, buying me things, coming up in nice cars and purses and jewelry, and everybody in school like, oh, you got this man ringing this, that, and the other, and it was more so a control type of thing after years of thinking about it.
That's funny you say that. When I was about 15, 16 years old, I met my children's father, and he pretty much did the same thing to me. And me coming from a background where I didn't have, a lot of women probably don't notice it, but it was everything to me. Like you have a man that buying you things, bringing you, buying you shoes, bringing flowers up to the school. You in school, everybody's seeing it. So it gave me the big head. It's like, dang, this guy really care about me. And I wasn't looking at the molding, as you say too, with the controlling and things like that. So definitely. Those are signs, you guys, when somebody, not that somebody buying you something that they're trying to control you, it's that more so just pay attention to the red flags. Anybody telling you can't go anywhere, I was told, oh, you shouldn't hang out with this person, you shouldn't be with that person, and things like that. So definitely pay attention to the signs, because it starts with signs like that, and controlling. Later on, it led up into abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You reached your breaking point. Tell us about your breaking point. You mentioned to me that he shot you 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what led up to that? What led up to that him shooting you 7 times? I remember you mentioning you guys was in a car, and you asked him to take you to get your taxes or whatnot like that.
I was in the car
Mm-hmm.
going to the house after I left him. As I decided that, I could take care of myself. I can do things on my own. I got tired of him out there cheating and everything, so I went off on my own. So and he knew this time I wasn't going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause usually I would go there, come back, but this time I wasn't coming back, and he knew this. So he asked me. I told him we could still be friends. So he told me to come to the house and pick up my mail because it was tax season. So, you want your tax papers.
Yeah.
So I went and picked up the tax papers, and he asked me to take him to the store.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, not thinking nothing at all. And he just was in the car and told me he couldn't see me with nobody else, and was I coming home? And I said, no. And he just pulled out the gun and shot me. And he shot me 5 times, and I moved, I guess. And he told me that he couldn't see me with anybody else. So he shot me 2 more times, and then he took off running down the street.
And he left you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. what was like, what was going through your head? Because you had a child at this time, right?
No,
You didn't
had
have
no
any children?
child, no
Okay.
kids with him.
What was going through your head, like when he did it? Like you, because you didn't see this coming, did you?
No,
You
not at
obviously
all.
didn't see it coming. You
Not
was
at
able to. You went to the store with him.
Not at all.
What was going through your head, like when you got shot? At the time, like did you feel like this is it? Like this is it? I'm done with him, or you know?
It's really, you get shot by the person that you love, and you just wonder, what did you do? And that's what I wondered. What did I do? Why did this happen to me? Everything, if you looked at our relationship, you would thought it was perfect, but in actuality, it was just him making me out, just trying to mold me into what he wanted me to be.
Okay.
But he had cheated and had a baby with a chick, so I just was like, that was it. That was totally it after that. So that's why he knew I wasn't coming back.
Okay. After he shot you and left you for dead, pretty much, someone ended up getting you to the hospital.
Yes, it was 2 ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They actually thought that I had a seizure or something because it was a cold day, and the only thing that really saved me, because it was cold and I had on a big thick leather coat, so that's really what saved me. They thought that I was just having a seizure until they saw blood. But I blacked out, so I got the story actually from them, and they, called the police and ambulance, and they life flighted me out.
Wow.
And I don't know, the grace of God, they asked me who
Was
did
you
this.
in a coma or anything for
I
any time?
was
For how
in a
long?
coma for about 3 days.
About 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you mentioned when you went to court to testify against him, he didn't even know you was alive.
No.
So no one even mentioned to him that you was alive.
No.
So
No,
when he saw you walk in the courtroom,
his eyes got big. He was total shock, because I guess he figured a person gets shot 7 times, they should not be here. He was supposed to shoot himself, but that didn't happen.
okay, you did say that he left a suicide note, that he was gonna kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
But after he left you, he went to the girlfriend house,
Mm-hmm.
and the girl that you expected him cheating with.
Yes.
And that's where the police picked him up at, right?
Yes.
What would you tell other women, like today, that might go through abuse? Like, what is your message to them? There's a lot of women that don't see the abuse coming. They don't see the signs, or they ignore the signs. I know myself, I ignored the signs. Me not getting attention coming up as a child and being bullied and picked on. So when somebody gave me a lot of attention, I felt like that person really cared a lot about me. That was my thing. And I kind of like, when he gave me that attention, I felt like he really loved me. But he was, like you said, molding me. What would you tell, like, younger women today?
Basically, to love yourself, and to also just pay attention to some of the signs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It was sometime when he would hit, a little play fighting and everything, and then that play fighting started to hurt.
Okay.
And if that happens, or just, I don't know, just being yourself, just making sure you stay to yourself. Be yourself, rather. I'm sorry. Be yourself. Don't try to have nobody mold you into what they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just be yourself.
Okay. I agree with you. Love, a lot of times, us young women look for love in all the wrong places. And when we lack love in ourselves, we tend to gravitate to people that we think love us, but it's not love. A person that loves you will not try to control you. A person that loves you will not hurt you. A person that loves you will not cheat on you. So with that being said, is when you learn how to love yourself and you love you and know who you are, you eliminate things like that when it comes to you or comes in your life. Did you seek counseling or anything like that?
No, but I will say that if this situation or, abuse happens or whatever, you need to talk to somebody. What I didn't do was seek out help, so it did fall into my relationships that I started not caring about guys and people, and just, it was just, I wouldn't, you know, if a guy wanted to come up to me and talk to me, I would totally dog him,
Yeah.
you know, and just use him until I found somebody that was still there that just stuck with me, even though I did all that stuff, you know, to that person. So I would definitely, you know, seek counseling,
Yeah.
because that's something that I didn't do that I should have.
Did that bring you closer to God?
Yeah, absolutely. I had actually didn't know what my faith was until this happened. You know, I was kind of, you know, I would go to church sometime, wouldn't go to church, you know, didn't believe that much. But then after, I mean, people say they don't see, I see that angel, you know, and I saw my stepmother, you know, and I think.
When you was in that coma?
Yeah, I saw my stepmother. And the day that I came out of my coma is when my grandfather passed away. So to me, I feel like he took my place because he just was going up the steps with his beer and he just fell over. So I feel like he took my place that day.
God is so good. God is good. You hear telling your story. I feel like God used you. Your timing wasn't up. You definitely were supposed to be here for whatever reason God has you here for. And I'm just grateful that, you know, you want to allow God to use you to tell your story, because I feel like your story will help so many women, and not even women, men too, because men get abused too.
Absolutely.
But will help so many people, you know, that might be going or headed down that line. So God is good, and I thank you for sharing. Tell us about the woman you are today. Like you went through abusive relationship, and you done been shot 7 times and left for dead and in a coma for 3 days, and just going through a roller coaster. You met a guy right behind it, and you ended up marrying a guy, right? And he loved you so much that he was waiting patiently. There's some good men out there.
Definitely waiting patiently.
You know, because he waited for her, and regardless of her being broken, he was there, you know, to help her and see her through it. So tell us about the woman that you became today.
I am much stronger
Okay.
than I was, more confident. You know, I definitely speak my truth in my mind. I don't hold anything back now. And I feel like I'm a better woman now. You know, I think that's sometimes I feel like that had to happen to me, because if it didn't, I probably would have still been in this situation.
Wow. I just want to hug you.
Okay.
Can I hug you? I'm sorry. I'm emotional. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience? Is there anything that you would like to tell? Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Well, thank you for allowing me to tell my story. And I just want the audience to know that, you know, just be yourself. Don't let nobody mold you. Don't let nobody control you. And please don't let nobody just hit all on you.
Wow. I thank God for using you. I thank God for sending you here. And I pray to God that this video helped thousands of millions of people. She's a walking testimony of, you know, when God say it ain't your time, it ain't your time. The message that I want to leave today is basically with you loving yourself. You know, again, I mentioned it earlier. When you start loving yourself, I'm 37 years old, and it took me about 35 years to fall in love with myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to love myself. When I start seeking God and I fell in love with God, God showed me how to love myself. So my message to you today is, you know, get into God. Get into God. Seek God. If you don't know how to love yourself, seek God. Fall in love with God, because He's going to show you how to love yourself. And also to know that, you know, when she mentioned that she became an abuser afterwards, you know, because hurt people hurt people. I too, when I left my abusive relationship, I became an abuser. I started using men for money. I didn't let nobody get close to me. Pretty much what she said, I did the same thing, because I had this guard up and I was still broken. So that's why it's important for you to seek help if you are broken. Also, to seek help and repair that, because you can't move on if you're still broken, because all you're going to do is hurt other people. So it's important for you to get help, you guys. I love you so much. God loves you, and I thank you all for tuning in to You Can, You Will. Please stay tuned. Watch us every Sunday at 5:30. God bless you, and I love you. See you soon.
Gave me my first son, my first love, my witness to everything. Came home and I was drinking like that. I moved them streets like that. Pimped out and raped. I even caught my first case. Sat in jail for 5 days. I prayed to change my ways. Went to school with a learning disability. Kicked out, worked hard, got good grades. The Lord